Excellent. Here we go. Welcome back, Croeso. It's only Britain's Hidden History number 99. Wow. And they say it would never last. Take it away, Aunt. Oh, I'm singing. I want my glasses. I can't even see this.
I'll give you an intro.
No, I don't need it. Well, go on, yeah, just do your own thing. Let's say hello. Who was first on tonight? Wow, loads of comments. Right. Do you hear the people singing the song of angry men? That's enough of that. Listen to Arnie, okay? Right, hiya Sherry, well done on their first hurdy-curdy man. Gary Taylor, always in the first few. Hello, everyone's great. We've got a special edition on tonight. There's so much. I'm so excited. I've got to remember to look sometimes at the camera. That would be good. Reading all the names here. Arnie hasn't... I showed this Arnie about 10 minutes ago. It's a bit harsh on him, but he's doing right. Chimzo Fu, where's the book available for pre-order? Oh my goodness, we'll show you again in the show. It's the last chance for pre-order tonight. Go to cumberlandglyphics.com, click on books, you should find it. Laurie has joined. Thank you very much, Laurie. Much appreciated. That's what keep us going. Another bard in the saying. Right. So tonight we've got so much stuff. Going to translate some stones. Going to show why America's called America. All sorts of things. David Mosley, thank you for your help, David. We are following the instructions David's put on there. We need to speak during the week. I've been so busy. Thank you, Arnie. That was wonderful. And I talked all over it. Sorry about that. I know people like to hear Arnie more than me, but there we go. I can actually see the comments tonight. This is great. Loving the music. Thank you, Brad. There's Mystic or Bethan. Hello, everybody. Hello, Paula. It's great. Hey, Rob Lego. Not working this evening. Good to see you on there live. Hey, thank you, Rich. Richard's Pop Rounds. It's good to see you as well. I just want to say, right, where do I start? I'm going to try my best. It might have to be only an hour tonight, okay? And I've said this before. I'm just going to be like... As you know, the books... Well, Volume 1, the PDFs went off Friday to the printers. And Volume 2 is going off, well, nowish. I want to get them in there by tomorrow morning. It's going to be a late night for me. And I've been getting up half 6, 7 in the morning to get them finished. It's amazing how many little jobs there are to do when you're doing a book just to finish it off. So excuse me if I start flaking a bit. So what you have sort of things like adding page numbers and the contents page, the index, appendixes, all that kind of stuff. And then the general layout, making the cover nice. Those little pages at the front, all the furniture that goes in, acknowledgements and forwards and that kind of thing. But this time, I have to say, every time, it's always a joy to do it, just the time in the day. So that PDF has got to go in first thing tomorrow, okay? So this starts the print run because it has to go out. I've got to get them back within the next 2 weeks because that's when I'm going up to Newcastle. And something I'm going to mention later in the video, it is going to be Baron's birthday. So please, if you can send me emails, comments on Facebook or physical cards, anything like that, I will print them off or add them to my cards. Make him feel special, all right? Because he did an amazing job. Basically, he's more of a carer for Alan than anything these days. Alan will be 90 in a few months. So that's middle of June. So one of the things I have to do as well is scout out a venue. Hopefully it'll be for the weekend of, well, his birthday's the 11th of June, all right? There's the big date, let that out the bag there. 11th of June, he'll be 90. I'm going to check the diaries. It might have to be the week after and that kind of stuff, okay? Yes, remember to take Moni's book to Alan with you. Thank you. Yes, I get a daily reminder from someone about that. If I forget Monica's book, I'm not going to come back. I'm going to stay in Newcastle, okay? Simple as that. Don't encourage him. Thanks, Brad. Paula. Thank you, Paula. Yes, no, I wasn't going to destroy that song then. But anyway, I reckon I could sing it. But I haven't no warm-up or anything. Right, so tonight, so many things to get through. Hi, Monica. Yes, thank you for the reminder. Yes. Right, we've got loads of people watching. Can it be a dog-friendly venue? I will try my best. Page numbers. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I on the steep part of the curve, just say hello a bit at the beginning. Mind you, I've done a few books now. I had never published anything before. But these books by Wilson and Black, it needed doing. And plus a couple of other books we've done since now. And this just the way to do it. You just got to learn, haven't you? Necessity, some other invention. And I have to say, I think it's amazing what you can do from in the home. You imagine it wouldn't have been that many years ago, you need a whole publishing house. Now you can make the PDFs, you can, they're professional books, but thank goodness I got really good help, such as Marshall, who does proofing to make sure the English is correct, that kind of thing, spelling. I try my best, but I'm not great on those things. And usually Patricia is wonderful. Patricia Gilcash has not been very well, so my heart's going out to Patricia. So everyone send your positive love and feelings to Canada, and hope spring comes, thaw out, feel warm, and feel healthy and well again. And you can crack on. All right. So well done, everyone. Right, I think what I'm going to do, and I'll dive straight in because there's a huge amount to cover. Hang on, I just want to make sure. Are we going to see this? Okay. Slideshow from the beginning. Right, now one thing I need, I'm hoping that Angie or the boys or someone can find a pair of specs for me, because I was going to show you how to draw. Because the other thing I had to do is I got some really funky drawing software and stuff, so I can draw their, what do you call them, the inscriptions, the letters, the ancient writing on these stones and things like the Dead Sea Scrolls, stuff like that. And I'm going to draw them so they can appear in the book. So I've got this is my Christmas present from Angie a couple of years ago. Like this. And I get my funky stylus, which never ever leaves there, because if I lose that, I'm lost without it. Except it's not there. No, it is. It's always there. And this is great, because you can draw and it just appears on the screen. And my previous life to this one, I did a lot of art, a lot of painting, little toy soldiers and things for books and stuff like that. So I'm very good at copying. I'm not a great artist, but I'm a technician. What do they call them? Not an artisan rather than artist. So I don't do great creative things, but I can copy it and make it look right. I'm a very good forger. That's what I could have done. Right, okay, so let's put this lovely picture on while I'm chatting. Right, I'm on, which side of the screen am I on? Okay, good. Because of the different angles now. Just put this up, thank you very much. This is from Richard, his Morgan, his little sister there. They've been up, seen the show, and they've never known about this. They live quite close, quite close to me. And they popped in this afternoon. I will tell you about their trip up to St. Peter's Church. So there they are. And as they were saying to me, they wouldn't have known anything about this place if they hadn't seen this channel, and I wouldn't have known anything about it unless without the Wilson and Blackett books, without Wilson and Blackett telling us. So there we are, sadly surrounded by those wind turbines, and I just want to add everyone, please get your emails in, the details are in the description, keep pressurising these people, let us know what is happening, where the access road's going, the platforms for the cranes, all that kind of thing. Because these ones here are bad enough, they're quite noisy, and they look ugly. They're about 70 metres. The new ones going up, the new generation, are over 200 metres, so triple the size of these. Alright, so there we are, a beautiful picture, eh? Absolutely lovely. Two happy children enjoying a bit of local history. Okay, cool. Alright, just a quick question, which I haven't gone into great detail. I will do another video during the week, so I have been really, it's been all hands on deck getting these, thank you, Bobby, an artist done. Yeah, we're always looking for more artwork. That'd be great. You get your name in print in the Wilson and Blackett. And I've also had Dane Boyle, thank you very much. He's contributed a couple of pictures for this book. So, Bobby, if you can please send me an email, that'd be really, really useful, please. Like I said, I can technically produce things. And the Curse of Oak Island. Yes, Oak Island I was going to get on to. Sorry, I should say, just jump out that quickly. Thanks to Norrie, who signed up as a member as well. A couple of Norrie's friends work on the Oak Island TV programme, the show, which I think a lot of people watch. I don't actually have a TV, but I've watched bits of it in the past through various other ways. And I do know something about what they're doing there. And I thought I'd have a look at it. And I think what's amazing and remarkable, everything is like this synchronicity thing. Sometimes you have to go with the flow. The programme I had planned for this week, and I trailed last week, was going to be all about the myth of ancient Greece. And Angie has stepped in, because I've been tied up, has done a great loads of pictures showing how stuff has been faked, and Rome could be a fake. All that's going to have to come next week. I doubt we'll get time today, but it's there in case we need it. And the other thing I was going to do was how to translate the Dead Sea Scrolls, which seems a pretty big claim, but Wilson and Blackett have done it, and it looks I was going to draw it and show you, which I might still do. But then the fates took a hand, and you have to follow these things sometimes. Don't be afraid to be led sometimes. And it came down to this appendix. I came across the appendix, and you'll see that led us down this trail more about America. And then the conversation with Laurie and something else came up, and the Oak Island came up, and suddenly it's like, hang on, all this goes together quite dramatically, including how America got its name. And no, if you have a go on the comments there, but what it's not is what I've always told people, that it was, if you look at the maps of John Dee and all that, there was a map maker in Britain called Merrick, and Mercator supposed to have got the map from him before Columbus went there, but not that person. There is another origin, which goes back even further. And once you've heard it, hello Sean, how you doing? Yeah, Sean, I need to show Sean's work as well, Sean Paul Wood. He's done an amazing bit of work on how the origin of all the letters in our alphabet, like why we have A, why is it an A, why is it a B, why is it a C? Every letter, he's done a huge project, and I really do want to get back to that. Yes, it was Amerigo. Well, mate, oh, you dirty rat. What? Right, I know. You lost me a bit there, Paula. But it wasn't Amerigo, I don't think. And we'll come on to that in a second, okay? And keep the language clean, please. It's a family show on a Sunday evening. Right. Yes, so we've got a different route, all right? That's just the way you have to do sometimes. Am I going to get darker and darker? Let's put a bit of light on me, otherwise you'll be able to see me soon. Right, okay, so let's just check. Because sometimes you get daylight coming through, but everything's closed today. Right, okay, crack on, Rossi B. Right, so someone, Peter Chesborough on the Facebook group, it's Britain's Hidden History. If you want to join, lots of chat and everything there. And I go through these items very quickly and get to the main thing. Because hopefully Doug and his friend who work on Oak Island are going to watch this and be wowed and think, hey, there's something we should have on our show. Have me on your show. And I'll get Alan on there. Right. This is a quote directly from King Arthur Conspiracy, just answering this question. And the confusion, what's the difference between Caradic 1 and Caradic 2? And they do get messed up. There's actually about 5 Caradics as well, just to make it even more confusing. Alright, so I'm just going to whiz through this. What it comes down to is the problem is the Welsh app, which I want you to remember because it's going to come up again a little bit later, can mean son of and also successor to. So you're not always... So if my uncle was called... I'm trying to think of a funny name. My name's brain's dead. Billy. And I took over for my uncle, even though he's not my father, I would then be the one who followed Billy. So I'd be Ross ap Billy. It's usually your father you follow, but not always. Alright, so what we have here... So in this case, Caradoc ap Caid, Caid ap Arch. Alright, it's a little bit confusing. You can read that yourself, but the point was, one of them was the brother of Kerry Longsword, and you can see the family tree. Rather than me slaughter it now, you can read that answer, those who are interested most, and I'm going to come back during the week, alright? Because it'll be a big subject by itself. This one, I want some help on. Because... I don't know if anybody's watched this video. It came up during the week. This is just the height. If you're new to the channel, one of the things we show is not only is there a hidden history, but it continues to get hidden in the most bizarre ways. I'm absolutely bonkers. I'll give you a challenge now. We put this challenge down for well over 2 years. Must be 3 years almost. Do you realise in the British Museum, nothing is labelled as British? Nothing. Nothing at all. Bizarre, isn't it? It's very, very... The way it works is obviously more modern stuff. You can call it by the era, Tudor or something like that. And then what happens is when you get back to where history sort of officially starts, about 1066 and not before, you get to the situation where things are called Saxon or Anglo-Saxon or Viking, all perfectly acceptable, never British. You'd be amazed. Anything from that period, nothing from that period is ever found or identified. And some of the examples get more and more ridiculous. And what you have to do there is, before that, you've got Roman. So in the middle, they call it the Dark Ages. You can't have anything there. That term is being lost, but it still applies. And then it's Roman. And then if it's before the Romans, it's probably Neolithic, Stone Age, Iron Age, anything but use the word British. And this was the maddest thing I've ever seen, because an Egyptian luxury in Roman Scotland. I didn't even know there was a Roman Scotland. The Romans are hardly in Scotland at all. And if you watch this video, the link is there. I should copy into the description. I'm sure you can find it. It's National Museums of Scotland YouTube channel. And I did ask a question about them, and it's the whole thing's a little bit patronising, really. But still explained it's war-torn and back and forth. And but the crazy thing is, you've got every road or building or pot or anything that's found that, like I said, won't fit into 1066 or Anglo-Saxons. It's called Roman. I'm asked them again now, what basis do you call it Roman? Do you consider it being British? It's really, really bizarre. But I thought I'd share that, because that's the first time I've seen the term Roman Scotland. I've seen Roman Britain, obviously. Never Roman Scotland. That's really stretching it. Hang on, sure. Yeah, he's almost spelt your cup of Tetley tea. Yeah, very good, Sean. No, it is good. I have been following it. I'm sorry I've been too busy to reply to all of it. Now, I'm going to put something up on the show. It is worth seeing. So here's another one, right, which I am going to show quickly. I put a video up during the week, but I just want to slightly add to that. So hopefully, I don't know if you saw the video during the week. Hang on a second.
I'll check this later.
Oh. Right, okay, so there we are. So the new detectorist axe and spear finds. I won't go through the whole thing I did in the video during the week, but basically, there's an axe and a spear, and that's all they've got, and suddenly they're Saxon or Viking. This is just bonkers. As it says here, these finds will now be fully researched and analysed by the society. They haven't analysed them or researched them at all yet. It's just done on their hunch. And sadly, this is the way it works generally. Things get labelled a certain way before any research is done. Same as Sutton Hoo. We've got other mounds like Lexington Mound. And the other one to add to it was this. Which, sorry, I think it was Laurie again, I think, sent me this piece of interest, which I think we've looked at a little bit before. Yes, my head's not quite cutting off the helmet, you can see there. Can you see it's got a boar's head on the top? You probably can't quite see that. Maybe I'll have to blow it up for a second. Got that, it's quite interesting. This, I'm not even sure if this is partly reconstructed. I mean, they are working from scraps, usually, with these ancient items. Now, this is another weird one, you see. I'll just add this as another example, because the argument with the other one was, well, they haven't done the research yet. They'll do the research, and they'll back up their findings, or they won't. The way it seems to work is the evidence follows the story that's already been decided. And if the evidence doesn't fit, that kind of disappears, you know. So what we got here, this is supposed to be from the 7th century, right? And this is in Western Derbyshire. Now, there's a couple of weird things about this. One, it could well be, the date is pretty vague and very, very close to the pre-Saxon era. And this is the fascinating thing here, you see. This is the first Anglo-Saxon helmet to be discovered. 5 others from Sutton Hoo, York, Wollaston, Shorewell and Staffordshire have been found since. So this is the one, as I read that, it was the first, it says, okay? So the way the general principle works is if you find an item, you compare it to previously found items and work out which one it's similar to. So if you find a helmet that looks a bit like this one, you can say, just like the Benty Grange helmet, therefore it must have the same sort of background, you know, the same description. So then you have to think, okay, well, Benty Grange is important then, because if this is the first one, and then other helmets are called Angle or Saxon because they look like this one, you have to look at the story. How did this one get its reputation? Well, it's not very clear, really, because this is the first thing. The most striking feature is the boar on the top, okay. But this pagan symbol faces towards a Christian cross. Enable display of syncretism. I'm surprised to see that word there. That means combining of different beliefs and various schools of thought. syncretism involves the merging of several originally discrete traditions, especially in the theology and mythology of religion. So this is an excuse for saying that, they might have been pagans, the Anglo-Saxons, they're not Christians, but hey, that's okay, a syncretism. Cross there, boar there. Boar doesn't have to be pagan, all right? There's still British military units going around with, all sorts of things. The Welsh regiment follows a goat, it's... this could easily be Christian, and from where it's found as well, we're getting towards the area of Elmet, in the sort of centre of England, which might have been Mercian, was a possibility, which would have been Vandal, or it could have been British, but this is not considered anywhere. This is not a replica. This is just fantasy dream world, and this is the other problem you get. People see stuff like this, and they think, wow, it's amazing, but here's your cross again. Look, so even the way they've done it here, the only clues they've got are the Christian cross. And wow, they've gone for it with that. I have to say, it's stunningly beautiful. I would love to own that. I mean, it'd be brilliant. Doubt they'd find one that'd fit on my rather large head with the corners, but, that's the problem you get. Okay. So, the point I'm trying to make here, without spending too long on this one, is if you look at the location of it, the Peak District, the rather sketchy dating of it, you see, here we go again, you see, so it's a small buffer state between Mercia and Northumbria. If you don't know England, it's right pretty much in the middle. They put it further east, it's about there it is. And it's under the Mercian kingdom. Well, the Mercians weren't Angles or Saxons. Even on the consensus mainstream one, Bede complains about them. So it's very, very strange. Other Christian items there. And the weird thing is then, you see, because this one has been decided that it's going to... Anyway, that's something who now, you see. This is how it works. Because this was been decided, this one must be Saxon or Anglo-Saxon in the 7th century. Therefore, anything that fits on your head, really, because all helmets are roughly the same, is going to be compared to this. And that's how you create a provenance. And that's how it's done. I know, it sounds bonkers, doesn't it? Because it's really metal, so you can't carbon date metal or anything. Not that I'm a big fan of carbon dating, as you know. But this is how the story continues, okay? And it's going to be a similar story, as you'll see, with what I think is happening a little bit on Oak Island. So I'm not an expert on Oak Island. So apologies if I get that wrong. But I've done a little bit of research to try and see, what the main theories are about it. Okay, oh yeah, there's the helmet, I just showed you that already. Right, straight in this week. Excuse me, healthy swig of squash. Right, now, when we come in here, we're on the... I better show you what I'm looking at, didn't I? That would help. There's the helmet I was going to talk about, we've done that. Right. King Arthur's... God, I saw a typo then, I've seen him everywhere. Proofreading. Oh, I'm just not cut out for it. Anyway, King Arthur Conspiracy Appendix. And I'm just going to read a little bit to this to you. Because this... Hang on a second. I hope I don't be a plot spoiler now, because it's not a plot spoiling part of the book, okay? You'll see why. It's not exactly one of those page-turner thrillers. It is a bit, though. Anyway, this isn't a plot spoiler part, but I understand if you want to look away. If you're going to buy the book. This will be in there, okay? This is the appendix here, all right? And I give a little plug to Britain's Hidden History in there, which I think I moved to the end of the article in the end. Ooh, sorry, there we go. Right, yeah, I pushed this bit down to the bottom. Anyway, so here we go. This is what Wilson and Blackett wrote back in 2005. And they were saying then, rely on people like you watching the show to send in your ideas and contributions. It's me in the middle at the moment, and I am farming as much as I can to other people, volunteers. Everyone's welcome. There's tons of work. Sorry, I can just turn a little bit this way so I haven't got my glasses. There we go. All right, here we go. It's got something about Sutton Hoo. I'm going to say, let's just talk about it a little bit more. The Anglo-Saxon is an oxymoron. Yeah, there's no such thing as Anglo-Saxon anyway, is there really? They're two different countries. It's like saying a French-German or something like that. So that's what else we got in the comments before we move on. Yeah? No, what have I done now?
You've right-clicked.
I've right-clicked by accident. Right, okay, let's have a look. We've got loads of comments. Right, Oak Island must have been... Okay, so we've got some great artifacts, says Sean there. Thank you very much. From Hadrian's Wall, helmets and stuff. A samurai suit. Oh, wow, that would be impressive. That would be impressive. Oak Island must have been dug out much earlier in the 16th century. Yeah, I think it could well have been. Hello, Shari. Right, Geoffrey of Monmouth referred to King Arthur as the boar of Cornwall. Interesting. So Arthur could have had a boar as well. Thank you for that comment there. That's from Shiny Gee. One of your comment just triggered something else in my mind, because if you look in... oh, come on, brain, wake up today. What they call it? The different symbols you use on shields and things. Oh, that's it. I've done too much lately. Armorial designs. What do they call it? What do you call it, Anne? Your coats of arms and all that kind of stuff. Oh, heraldry. Sheesh. If you look at heraldry, a boar is the same as a dragon. And one of the examples of this is when Henry VII fought Richard III, Battle of Bosworth and all that, famous battle. It was supposed to be a reimagining or a realisation of the red dragon against the white dragon. So Henry VII claimed to be the Welsh saviour, and he took the red dragon standard, into battle, and Richard III had the white boar, which represents the white dragon. So the dragon and the boar represent each other. So yeah, I didn't even think that could be an Arthurian link there, a Welsh link. There's Laurie. Yeah, Northumbria. It's a straight line between Nova Scotia. All right, yeah, I see the lays and everything, and the lines linking everything up. I haven't gone into that yet. I think it's worth doing it. Yeah, West Wales was called Cornwallis. Other way around slightly. Cornwall was called West Wales. That might be what you're thinking of. David, there are items in the Sutton Hoo find classified as unidentified. The Danish historians are saying more like to be British in origin. Yeah, and David's over there. He knows what's going on over there. We need to catch up during the week. Sorry, it's been every hour. I haven't had a chance at all. The Venerable Bede. Yeah. Too much trust in him. Even the Egyptians wore metal masks in the image of Osiris in riding into battle to scare the out of everyone. Okay, thank you, Sean. Watch your language, please. All right, okay. Oh, wow, there's loads of Vikings tonight. Everyone's into this. Right, okay. If I read all the comments, they're never going to get anywhere. Greenland Vikings. Right, Paul, and this is what I get into. Came down to America, Canada. Right, this is where I'm going to try and blow that open and show they weren't Vikings at all. Well, it could have been, I suppose. I'm not saying for definite, but there's just as much, or not more, chance that they're actually British. All right, anyway. Good stuff. Lively this evening. Loads of chat. Excellent. Okay, right. So this is the little appendix here. So what he's talking about here is, thank you very much to this gentleman who was called Sean Oh, come on, Rossi B. Sorry, Bob McCann. Bob McCann sent this email in, all right? Now, what he did back in the day was... You can read this yourself if you wish to. You can buy the book and get yourself. But look at the boats, the ships, all that kind of stuff. And what I want to get to, I'm not going to read it all now. He puts quite a lot there. Now, this is the key bit here. The land hopping makes the journey to America plausible. And this really got me thinking what he says in here. This bit. It was not until I looked at a polar map. How do I zoom in? There we go. It was not until I looked at a polar map with the North Pole at its centre and the meridians converging to a point that I realised how close Iceland was to North Scotland and how close southeastern Greenland was to Iceland. By tracking around the southern tip of Greenland and establishing progressive settlements, it would only be a matter of time before the Davis Strait was crossed and good country found in Labrador. It would then be natural to continue down the coast of America. So I was doing it. I almost didn't put the appendix in. Like, no. I promised everything that's in the original book is going to be in the reissue. So as you can see, all this got typed up by yours truly here. Right, so I believe... I'm going to read this because it's a very well-written email as well. It's brilliant. Although this may seem of little consequence to you, I don't know why you think that, it's excellent. I believe that the inclusion of such a map in your book with parallels of latitude as circles and the meridians converging at the North Pole would greatly strengthen your case in the eyes of the average reader. Anyone know you get these little black bars that turn up? It's really annoying. It would show people just how close together these stepping stones are. It makes the discovery of America almost inevitable, and such a map shows that no one was better placed geographically to do this than the British. As a word attachment to this email, blah, blah, blah. Right, okay. And then he talks about dates and some other stuff. So I did what he said. And I put this in because I've made this. I've added the names and I've taken a crop and all that kind of stuff. And my goodness, he's right, you know. It really does change how you think about the whole thing. And it's been a revelation for me, which is crazy because one of the problems I had was I was never happy with the design of the covers of Volume 2. So if I just, hang on, you don't watch me rummaging through my files to find all these pictures. I know where everything is, my goodness, I've been living this. Covers. Right, okay. Right. Say the Volume 1's easy, okay? Because Volume 1 is the migrations from the Middle East up to Britain. It looks great on the thing. I mean, now it's got the barcodes and all the other bits. This isn't the final one, and the crop marks are missing. But you get the idea. Everyone recognises Italy and the Mediterranean. There's Britain. The journey just beautifully fills the page, okay? But the problem was when you do number 2, is this the right one? Yeah, here we go. See, when I do Volume 2, it's basically Atlantic. It's just a great big sea, isn't it? There's nothing really to see. All you can see was the sea. There's a bit of Britain at the top, Wales, checking out. But not a very inspiring sort of image, and he wants to read a book about, just being on the water. So the great thing now is, with the inspiration of this chap, thank you very much, we got a new cover 2. Where's cover 2? Arnie, quick, CAC 2 cover. CAC 2, there's, is this the new one? No, alright, well, we'll come back to that in a second. I don't want to hold everything up. Where's the new version? Phew. Right, sorry about this slight delay then, I thought I had everything ready. Alright, okay, I'm going to have to use this one, which is a, well, you're going to see it sitting inside Photoshop, alright? But there you go, so it's a much cooler picture now. Because this shows you can, as he says, island hop. There's Britain, Greenland, round to, I think it's Baffin Island. There's the strait we just talked about. Down to Greenland, Labrador. I'm having to learn my Canadian geography. I didn't expect to be doing that. Alright, as you can see, I've got millions of things open here. You can watch me try to open the right one. So there's a better map on the inside of the book. And as he says, suddenly this makes a lot of sense. This journey. Now, what's also curious as well, if you look at what suddenly struck me, this is what I'm saying, you have to follow the flow sometimes. Because I only drew this map and everything yesterday, I think it was. Gosh, days are blurring into one. And started looking closer at this route rather than coming up into Mobile Bay and up through the Caribbean, that kind of thing. Sort of route we associate with Columbus. But don't forget, Columbus never even got to America. I agree with this email. This makes a lot more sense. We've an island hop. Say from Britain, Iceland, Greenland, across the Davis Strait, down to Labrador and Newfoundland, and then you're down the east coast of America. There's also some talk in the book about the inland seas, and they get sucked in there, and the journeys of Frobisher that came later, all this kind of stuff. Very interesting. And this is why I call this today's episode, looking from a different perspective. Because when you look at the Mercator projection, it takes the globe and spreads it out like this, so that the parts of the north become enormously wide. And the funny thing is as well, I was telling, I think it's Richard this earlier, and he said, I'm glad you mentioned the globe, not the flat earth thing. I said, I'll try to stay away from that. But curious thing is, a flat earth map does look a lot like this if you look at one. with the North Pole in the middle. All right, so anyway, I'm not going to get distracted by that, because it's just one of those little, for me, it's a mind game. I don't see why everyone gets so into it or not into it, really, but there you go. Where's the, here we go, here's the map. Come on. I'm a bit bigger than that earlier. Yeah, isn't it great? Isn't it marvellous? Right. Well, a lot of use they are, isn't it? This is what I want to show. This was on this subject. This is a 1780s map, alright? This is weird, okay? Because this lack of knowledge of what lay north of the shifting barrier of ice gave rise to a number of conjectures. Oh yeah, speaking of Flat Earth Britain's Way, I will be speaking live in Birmingham next weekend, Saturday night. So look out, I'll put some... there's one corner of the Flat Earth theory. Oh no, I'm going to stumble into a whole world of pain there. It's a very interesting subject, it's not for this channel, alright? But okay, there's something going on with the maps and everything, though, because there's old maps that show where the land is and everything that shouldn't exist for whatever reasons. And this one I found very interesting because looking here, I was thinking of even using this map, although it's a bit weird. Can I zoom in some? I can't really zoom in anymore. But here you go, we've got some idea of a North Pole here, or the centre of your flat Earth, whichever one you prefer. And you can see here, I mean, can I zoom in a bit? No, but I can get better resolution. So there's Britain. So you got from there Iceland. I mean, they're almost, on this map, they're more or less touching. I mean, it's crazy how close they are. So I'm not saying everything's accurate or not accurate, but in the minds of the people drawing the maps, these things are really close and almost touching. I mean, the distance from there to there is less than the distance between Britain and Greenland. And I'm going to have a bit of a ramble there, but I think you'll find on the maps that Oak Island is right about here somewhere. And I'm sure one of the many people from Canada got to tell me. Right, apparently there's a stone slab found on Oak Island with strange writing on it. Yes, this is what I want to get to, Zero, you're quite right. Which no one was able to decipher or translate. You have to wonder if it was Colburn. I do wonder if it was Colburn. Please, 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 can someone send it to me? I've been searching, I can't find it. I was going to show on Wikipedia, this is one of the things I was going to talk about. Tell you what, let's just go with the flow, eh? So here's Oak Island, alright? So there's the map, so you can see roughly where it is. If you can work out this map, which is a blinking rubbish map, I have to say. I had to have a good look at this map. I'm like, well, it doesn't mean anything. There's the Atlantic Ocean, that's what it tells you. But then there's Halifax and Nova Scotia, so we're up in that sort of northeast bit. And there's Prince Edward Island. So I think we're near Labrador, the northeast corner, top right-hand corner of Canada, okay? And there it is. So to me, that fits in perfectly with the migration route. So it doesn't have to be Viking. So what I'm going to talk about in a minute is why does Viking things get priority? And it's a bit like the helmets, all right? And that's what I'm going to be talking about. But I would love it if anybody there can send me, please, their picture of whatever stone they found. If you're the production team for the Oak Island program, send it to me. And this is why I'm doing this little demonstration. I might need some glasses, but we'll have a go. To show how easily these things decipher using Colburn and the British writing system. And everyone thinks they're Viking runes. Quite often they don't even look like Viking runes. And there's loads about this in the Volume 2, The King Arthur Conspiracy, okay? Right, Ross, Baffin Island. They tried to destroy artifacts that were found by Dr. Sutherland. Yeah, that's rather worrying to hear. Read the Book of Enoch, True Cosmology. You can watch parts of the Oak Island show on YouTube. Yes, I did watch a little bit. Right, the Templar engravings, the other thing. Templars. These are the cool things. In Britain, Romans are cool. I think most places. There's some even early stuff, which I would say ties in with the British thing, which is also Roman. Angles and Saxons are pretty cool in Britain. There's loads of TV programmes, there's loads of drama. Bernard Cornwell books, which I have to say, I've always been a massive Bernard Cornwell fan. I even got to know him. And loved all his books, especially the Sharp series, all that. And the Arthur books, some of my favourite books ever written. until I got to know more about King Arthur. But anyway, but even with his career, he notices when he started doing Northern Lords and Angles and Saxons and Vikings, suddenly he makes the breakthrough. All right, this is the trendy subjects. And Vikings. Everyone loves Vikings. Me the same, right? All my life. When I was a little boy, Romans and Vikings were huge. This is indoctrinated into us from a very, very young age. And it's really hard to snap out. And consider it might be something like Britons or Welsh, for heaven's sake, who aren't cool at all. Don't get mentioned anywhere. Well, we are cool, but not in the books. All right, lots of sports use a ball. Oh my goodness, there's so much flying in now. Richards, waiting on the first book delivery. If memory serves me right, Arturius Rex. Okay, well, should be assumed as a cracking book to start with. Because the Viking Leif Erikson did find America. Now, Leif Erikson may well have done. I'm not disputing that, but it doesn't throw out other people having gone there as well. This is the point. And in this case, maybe 300-400 years earlier. And I've been reading all sorts of books about... I mean, did you see on the news last week, some bloke just rowed across the Atlantic on his own? I mean, the idea that no one went there before Columbus is purely political. Anyway, I'm drifting. Right, okay, so here's the climate, where it is, and all that kind of basic stuff. Oak Island mystery, okay? All sorts of stuff. Marie Antoinette's jewels, Captain Kidd. I can see why this is so popular. It hits loads of popular buttons. So I'm just working off Wikipedia and the little bits I've seen of the programme. Okay, this is not a detailed analysis. Right, now what struck out to me is, here we go. It's pirates. That's another buzzword. Pirates. Templars. How cool are Templars? Templars are very cool. There and again, something we need to look into. There's so many projects. If you want to do a project on Templars, I can arm you with loads of stuff about the origins and the links and where they started in Britain and why and all that kind of stuff, okay? Obviously, the Ark of the Covenant, we've got books on. The Holy Grail. It's like a Wilson and Blackett reading list. Knights Templar, Ark of the Covenant, Holy Grail. But they don't seem to realise any of these things came to Britain. Like we've done there's a whole book showing how the Ark can be followed to, well, not far from here, to the place of the Ark, and it's a bull, where it's buried. Now, but I would not be surprised at all. It'd be totally feasible for the Ark of the Covenant to have been taken from Wales when the invasions and the comet was coming, which would tie in with this. If that comet came smashing through, destroying everything, and was seen as some sort of curse or a punishment from God, or just we need to get out of town because this migration took place, they took 70,000 people with them, they might have taken the Ark with them, and that would fill in with that side of it. The Holy Grail's a bit different, because in Wilson Blackett's version of events, the Sar Graal or Holy Grail is like a written document, a contract, if you like. Just like the Ten Commandments would be Holy Grail, or the American Constitution, the Quran, things like that. They're all Graals, okay, or Grails. Okay, so all those fit in. I love this idea of the money pit, where they just keep throwing money into it. And this curse is fascinating. 7 people have to die before they find the treasure. And so far, 6 people have died. 1 more to go. Sorry, but I'm assuming everyone's watched Oak Island, by the way. And I don't know much about it, so I should give a little bit of background. But it's an incredibly popular TV series. Absolutely fascinating. Because they're digging, they're drilling, they're trying all ways and methods. I've seen clips of people being lowered down into canyons on ropes. And there's this really nice woman presenter. She's been really brave with the helmet and the light, and she's abseiling, dangling. It's cool, right? This is like dream archaeology stuff, okay? Now, what I want to tie in with this, so you got early excavations, things they found. The first question I was going to ask is, please, can someone get a copy of that writing? Yeah, the Book of Mormon. See, the Book of Mormon comes in. Who's that? Nigel. You're ahead of the game. Nigel Orrells. I hope I said your name properly there, Nigel. So I've got my glasses. I think it's Nigel Orrells. I've got to find a pair of glasses. I own about 20, 30 pairs. How can they all disappear? I just don't understand it. That's to make life really difficult for drawing. Right, okay, so I was reading through all this kind of stuff and doing some background reading. This is what I wanted to get to, the stone with the alleged markings. And bizarrely, the stone seemed to have disappeared, and no one's got any pictures or anything. What's that about? Another thing I'd like to point out is you'll see in this if you look at all these pirates and all that, not these pirates are Welsh, by the way, but not trying to distract things, make this into a Welsh programme, just Morgan and people like that. Morgan from Glamorgan, you know, I'm not always the nice guys or the good guys in all this. So I'd like to see the stone writing, if anyone's got it, please. I'd like to show how the writing works. And what I'm going to do, I'm not able to... Oh, do you know if I've got any specs anywhere? Could you have another quick look, see if I've got any specs?
Yeah.
And poor Arnie's very tired, because the Grand Prix in Australia was on stupid o'clock. I think he's up at 5:30 to watch the Grand Prix. So he's up at 5? Sheesh, want to see the build-up as well. Oh my goodness, I didn't get up to watch it. He's up before, but I got up really early to do some work and he's already up, so I'm like, good effort. Okay, so all this stuff, the Masonic things, I'd like to get into that as well. Again, the Holy Grail, the Ark of the Covenant. Now all these kind of fag ends, if you like, of picking up stories and bits, all tie in with the connections we've got, where we tracked all these items from the Middle East to Britain, and then we're tracking a migration across. And once you change the perspective, look at the map from that other point of view, you tie it in. And the crazy question is, a bit like with the helmets and the other stories that come up, and I'd like to know from the people doing this, has this connection even been considered, and why not? I want people to think about that. Why not? Why is it not even reaches the list of possibles, if you like? Okay, right, so we go. Yes, that's the same about the Mormons has come up now. Yeah, I'm sure everyone's aware of it, but the Church of Latter-day Saints, or the Mormons, founded by Joseph Smith. It's a fascinating story. And I did have and funny enough, Leon did a piano exam a week or two ago. Missing something off the map, the Faroe Islands, on my Arctic map. Okay. No specs anywhere. Must be in the car. Somewhere there'll be like 20 pairs of glasses next to a pile of odd socks. So anyway, Joseph Smith founded the Mormon religion, or the Church of Latter-day Saints. Yeah, funny enough, last week, Leon had a piano exam, and it was in the Mormon church in Merthyr. Beautiful, amazing church. Fantastic facilities, sports hall, everything. I remember going there many, many years ago. Actually, not that many years ago, because I'm only 35, but my mate Philip Rowe, if you're out there, Philip, he wanted to become a Mormon, and his parents sort of cast him out, and I went with him as his sort of friend, just to witness. I don't know if he's trying to get me into it or something. And I always find it very interesting, and it's and the Book of Mormon's a fabulous read, and I'd highly recommend it. But I never thought too much of it, because the whole idea of him finding, because Joseph Smith said he had a dream, he had a vision. If you went to a certain cave, he would find these messages from God in a cave, which, seems bonkers. But he kept going, and in the end he just went there. And the story is that he found these, it's supposed to be gold, someone's written in the comments, either gold or brass or copper. Anyway, nice metal sheets with ancient writing on them, which then deciphered and became a continuation of the Bible. So I'm not trying to get myself a hole. Any Mormons are upset or anything. I'm very sympathetic to the religion, but some of the key differences are then that this migration must have taken place before some of the later events in the Bible, you could argue, or that a lot of the rewrites that happened through the councils and the later discussions. The Bible was put together in a series of discussions, and a lot of the what's considered the canon, what books count as part of the Bible, was not really decided to the 600s, 700s, even medieval times, 1300s of some of it. So Latter-day Saints believe in things like continuous revelation, whereby the age of the prophets didn't necessarily just end at some point. Prophets still exist. And there's a lot to do with ancestors, which is why they're a great place to go for genealogy. And you can still pray for an ancestor to get them converted, that kind of thing. So it's a very potted, very fast history, okay? And then, of course, you've got the lifestyle things. You go away for a year on mission and that kind of stuff. And never really saw much of Philip again after he went away for his year, unfortunately. We were tennis doubles partners. It's a weird way to... and good friends. Captured from Michigan was taken out as well. Yes, there's all sorts of stuff. The Book of Mormon is a cracking musical too. I think that Richard's been a bit funny there. But it is a good book. What I'll tell you already about it, the wars and battles in there are phenomenal. Starting off with like 50,000 aside, and on day 2, I think there's 10,000 dies. So day 2, there's 40,000 aside, and another 20,000 dies. So day 3, and you find by day 7, there's like 20 against 10 or something. It's mad. But anyway, it all seemed bonkers. But suddenly, this mysterious writing in a cave, and ancient Christians suddenly. We started to think, hang on, if we got these migrations in the 6th century and they were Christians, who knows, eh? Who knows? I'm not preaching to convert people in or out or either way. It's just, it is interesting once you look at it from that point of view. Okay, so what I'm going to get to, let's get back onto the thread again a second. Okay, so there's this map. So, someone said the Faroe Islands should be on there. I'll have to look that up. Because I haven't added or taken any islands off this. I've just added labels. But there's the staging posts. Alright, so there's how the cover now looks. A lot better cover now. You can see there's lots of things to look at. There's Britain. Sorry, Scotland, you're a bit blocked out. Obviously, there's Europe. And you can see up here. Over towards Greenland, Iceland. There's the Strait. I wasn't going to put all the letter on, but it'd make it too cluttered and ugly, I think. So it's pretty cool front cover now, right? Right, Oak Island, we're talking about that. So why is the Welsh migration never considered? Or maybe it has, and I just missed it. If anyone's watched it. Oak Island Stone Deciphered article. Yeah, I'm not sure they have, though, really, to be blunt. But I would like to see it. Right, okay. So, and why is America called America? Yes, just teasing a little bit with that one. Right, so what I'm going to do now is just go to, I have to note for myself there, the chapter 21 from the book. I need chapter 21. Gosh, I better find my way around this by now. Okay. Chapters, PDF chapters, chapter 21. Make sure I get the right one. Oh, no, it's that one. Oh, there might be a spot of errors on this one. I don't think so, but okay. So we got some stuff, but the thing what I want to get to is wishful thinking. Where is it? Sort of Constantine, Vikings. I will zoom in a second. Don't panic. Wishing history. Here we go. God, I should know this book by now. Right, now this I would say is slightly nuanced, slightly different to how it applies in Britain. But this seems to be at the heart of everything. It's right at the back of the book, alright? So you talk about different expeditions, who they could be, and there's loads about. Far more than I realised the first time. The thing with the way the book was written before, it was a little bit clumsy, should we say. Wilson and Blackett are the most brilliant producing this work, and the working things out, discoveries, all this kind of thing. They really did need an editor. Things like spelling and repeating stuff in the book, and they don't worry about stuff like that. Just get the stuff down, get the books out. It was only them, and I understand. But it was a bit difficult to follow. So if I'd read the book before, I'd missed quite a bit. Nothing like working on nothing else for a couple of months to focus your brain. Right, anyway. It took some time for Alan Wilson and Baron Blackett, I can't highlight, to grasp some of the prevailing problems in America, and the Mormons comes up. First, there's a residual antagonism of Orthodox Roman-style Christians, and that would include Episcopalians, the Church of England one anyway, the non-Catholics, to the Mormon religion, which has given rise to a desire to obliterate any form of pre-Columbus migrations from Europe to America that might support the Mormon faith. You could say inadvertently, because that's not the objective, but once you start saying these things are possible, then, it makes it less ridiculous sounding. Right. So please have a read this. You can come back and pause it. Obviously, buy the books even better. All right, then we got all these different stories. This is great. I can't highlight. Oh, well. I'll do that. It's almost as good. Right, so what they have to do, if you find ancient sites, you have to either make sure it's Native American, fit in this nothing pre-Columbian, or you make it later, so it can be after Columbians. Then you also say Columbians after the exploration by Columbus, his visit to the West Indies. And then you start throwing other things in, okay? And it's quite interesting, this chapter. Well, the whole book is, but in order to make these sites and artefacts politically acceptable, I could say, even to themselves, a suitable origin has to be devised. This inevitably led to recourse to the lost 10 tribes of Israel, and theories were devised allowing for historical inventions of unrecorded Jewish fleets sailing over 2,000 miles across the Mediterranean from Haifa, and then another 3,000 miles. And that looks like ancient Hebrew. Well, it does a bit. And then there's all different lines of thinking then to try and avoid it being British. So you got the Celtic ideas, then you got the writing. It can be Ogham, it can make it Irish, you can try and make it Scottish. It doesn't look like Ogham. It's not Ogham. It doesn't look like Viking runes. We've got examples of Viking runes in Viking countries. It does not look like them, the stuff they found. I desperately want to see what they found at Oak Island, because I wouldn't be at all surprised if we can read it. And it wouldn't take long. It doesn't take, like they've spent years trying to crack this. If you know a writing system, you know the language, it shouldn't take you that long. Because it's pointless as a writing system. It just doesn't work, does it? If you think about it. Imagine if it's going to take us months just to read this for tonight's show. You know, we just couldn't do it, could we? Yeah, this is quite funny. They just stopped Pearl Harbor if the problem was too much information. Not too little. We got so much evidence. Okay, they got the snake mounds, which parallel those found in Britain. So I'm trying to get to the bit I want there. We got the Tartar relation, Finland, all these different things. And another thing is I want to say. Right, here we go. This is another one which is quite remarkable. If you looked at the Vinland map fraud and the Kensington stone fraud, and I'm pointing this out particularly if those producers of the programme are watching, and this goes back over 20 years. Now, I'll not read the whole thing out again, but what happened, the Vinland map, was found along with some other documents, and Harvard University, no less, verified that these were ancient documents, and therefore they were to be taken seriously, and it was more evidence supporting the idea of Viking arrivals in North America. Unfortunately, or fortunately, sometime later, someone did analysis on the ink that was used, and while some of the papers seemed quite old, some of the ingredients in the ink were not developed until only a couple of hundred years ago. It was a forge. It was a fake. There's been other fakes, the Kensington stone fraud. Another one there where a Scandinavian family claimed to have found this stone under a tree, and they reckon it was hundreds and hundreds of years old, and it had ancient writing, and it showed that the Vikings had been there since Leif Erikson's time and all this kind of stuff. Again, it turned out to be a fraud, and they could prove it was by looking at the physical evidence. Now, the point that Wilson and Blackett are making to mention these examples, and there are others as well, is partly because you've got to be aware that frauds do exist. But also the strange thing is that no matter how many frauds and fakes and proven errors are turned up about the Viking story, it just won't go away. It just won't go away. If the story fits the agenda, it doesn't matter. You can get caught faking. Same as there's an example in there as well about the Irish version of the events. That's okay. Ireland, doesn't matter if there's been fakes or forgeries, you can still carry on running. Same with the Vikings. Whereas we look at the British or Welsh accounts of this, there's never been any. There's been accusations that people like YOLO, but then over time it's all starting to check out. The old genealogies are all starting to check out. The people claim to be where they are. You can go and visit the stones. You can see their names carved. It all checks out. The writing checks out. You can use it. It works, okay? So it's the kind of stuff on there. You've got these Ossian forgeries. There's another examples by Macpherson. Hang on a second. There we are. There's a 19th century. These like Ossian papers by Macpherson. And more or less rewrote Irish and Scots ancient history. They were disposed as a fake. They're only a couple of hundred years old. What happened? Did everyone chuck out Irish and Scots claims and histories? No. Just carried on. And in fact, you go on mainstream TV programmes, they still refer to these Ossian documents, still refer to the Kensington Stone, still refer to, what's the other document called? The other fake document. They still get referred to. It's like nothing can stick, whereas you can't get any consideration of the Welsh migration. And why is that? Right, you've got to sort of Constantine where that is as well. There's so much stuff. You're gonna really enjoy the book. Right, so I'm going to just show on there. So why is the Welsh migration never considered? Okay, what time is it? 10:09, excellent. Right. Sorry, I'm going to just try and find... So, inspired me to write a foreword for Volume 2. Okay, because not everyone's read Volume 1. I'll explain it on here. How many more graphics to show? Better be careful. Right. So I'm just saying it's a standalone book. Don't worry if you haven't read Volume 1. And what Volume 1 is all about, we follow the British migrations to the Middle East. You can see how to read Etruscan, how to read Phrygian. I've got my book on how to read hieroglyphics, the Cumberglyphics book, which Wilson Blackett worked out. And what I'm going to try and show you, even without my glasses, is a few of the symbols actually do match the hieroglyphs, which really surprised me. Because I hadn't looked... I imagine most people, especially with the first edition, where they are a little bit all over the place, the layout and everything. I wonder how many people did what I did when they got this book. If you could get hold of a copy. Another story, where did all the copies go? Thousands are printed, no one seems to have any. You're looking at these little drawings and stuff, and you're trying to think, oh yeah, that was really good, I'll get back to that. But you never really go into how to do it. Bit like with the hieroglyphs, when I did that Cumberglyphics book. It's their work and their ideas. Hopefully I'm going to do a better... Oh no, that's want to be pat. I will try and get it across in a smaller form. Hopefully people can pick it up quicker. I don't want to say anything bad about what they've done, because they worked all out and it's brilliant. But to understand it does take a little bit of effort, So I'm scrolling down something that you cannot see. Just realised. Probably much makes more sense now, doesn't it? Told you I was tired. Although these things happen every week anyway. Right, so Volume 1 concentrate on how the trail of the language. You can follow it. Right, sad to say, this rich and well-recorded history has been replaced with the 18th century invention of Britain and Ireland being populated by barbaric Celts. But not Celts, that's in the book as well. And a massively overblown idea of a Roman Britain, which has been used to fill the void created when authentic British history was removed. So this is where we pick up the story in the second volume. The problem is, it's a bit I want to get to. Quoting yourself's a bit weird, but there we are. As I've written out once today already. Shouldn't have to reword it twice. The problem is that none of the authorities want this history to be known. Because politically, it doesn't suit anyone. Quite the opposite. We've already touched on the church. Before that, the legal claim. Do you know how North America was claimed? Why it became the United States? Why Canada became Canada? How Brazil, Portugal, all these places became taken over. Blooming Vikings, what have they ever done for us? Oh, that's funny. Thank you, Booble Weave, whoever you are. Yes, what have the Vikings ever done for us? Some people actually say, were there ever any Vikings anyway? I mean, who are these Vikings? Where did they come from? And what is it? Because I think the original term means to go of Vikings. A verb, isn't it? To go off adventuring or something. They could be anybody, really. Anyway, the legal principle is called Terra. Look at me showing off with a bit of Latin there. Terra Nullius, i.e. nobody's land. So before Columbus, before the big bun fight started for who claims the land, the law was, same happened in South America, loads of places around the world. If nobody's there already, and by nobody, natives don't count. This is the key. Non-Christians don't count. If there's no Christians, the country is up for grabs and you can take it. You're the first ones there. That's to see all these paintings and everything, and they're putting the flag in. You put the flag in the ground with a Christian cross or something like it on it, and that's how you claim the land. all this is the basis for it. So what happens if someone comes along and says they've claimed the land, and as they're exploring west, they say, hey, we just bumped into this tribe over here, and guess what? They speak Welsh and they got Bibles. It's a slight problem, isn't it? Oh, by the way, their skin. They got white skin, they read Bibles, and they speak Welsh. It ruins your claim. It ruins it. It messes up everything. And ironically, the Tudors, I think everyone knows, this is the red herring, if you like. They to try and emphasise their claim, they'd said that there had been a Welsh migration, but the migration was about 1170, 12th century, and that was Maddock from North Wales, and that's easily disproved as another forgery, so therefore the whole thing gets thrown out. This is the difference in approach. Because that's shown to be a false story, everything is thrown out. The other stories, fakes and that doesn't matter, just carry on believing it anyway. So what seems to be happening, right, there was a human body, Middle Eastern DNA. Okay, all right. Yes, Viking was an action, that's right. Many different people were Vikings. Norse Nordic is a different story from the Christian destroyed our whole earth. Yeah, I'm sure it is. You know, I start to doubt all that whole story. But anyway, so if you've got these, what you'll find in the second volume, there are lots of stories about, people getting captured by native tribes, or Indians as they called them in those days. And we've had First Nation Americans watching this channel and they say they don't mind being called these things. It's not meant maliciously. So you can call me Taff, Welsh Git, whatever you like, all right? It's how you say it that matters. It's how you call someone. Right, so this doesn't fit in with the legal basis for the country. It's really important. This story has to disappear. Now, one of the stories, if you go down with interview Rick Osman, if you're watching Rick, hello, loved our chats, we should do another one. One of the things he explained was that Powell, I think it was Powell, he was the guy at the time, he was there in charge of their surveying for the railways, to this manifest destiny to push west and build railways, and he was also in charge of archaeology and collecting specimens and things. So slight conflict of interest, you'd think. So if you go west and you find this area, say you found a cliff face with this huge Christian cross on it, and maybe even some passages from the Bible in Welsh, who knows, or some Colburn writing, and you're the one putting the railways down, well, you need a bit of ballast for your track, so get some dynamite, blow it up and stick it under your railway lines. That's how brutal it was. Because you cannot turn around and say, hey, guess what, we just found a load of Christians, because the whole legal basis for the USA falls apart. Same with Canada, okay? There's enough trouble with Melanesians when it was elections. This is well recorded. I'm doing this off the top of my head now, but I think it was pretty early on, 1780s, 90s, or even early 1800s. The voting procedure, there wasn't total emancipation. You had to be white to vote. And of course, these tribes of the Mandans, Melanesians, different people came forward and said, well, we are. And they're like, yeah, but you're the wrong kind of white. That's not what we meant. We meant European whites. But there's a real problem because they were racially European. How long they've been there? Who knows, all right? So there's a lot of physical evidence backing these things up as well. Right, the other thing there, thank you for whoever mentioned that earlier as well, it also gives possible credence to the claims of Joseph Smith and the founding of the Mormon religion, which doesn't go down very well with the Catholic, and that word I can't say. I'm going to have another go. Episcopal. Why do they got such a difficult word? Episcopal churches. So the ongoing tragedy is this observation of our past, which is a tragedy now, more seriously. It's the current politically correct thing about everything before Columbus was First Nation or Native American is presented as though they are defending Aboriginal rights, if you like, or Native American rights. These Europeans came along and they're claiming everything was theirs, they're taking our history, all that kind of stuff. It's completely untrue. It's the opposite, because the Native Americans as well, they've got their own historical records. Shouldn't be so patronising. They know their history, they've got oral tradition, they've got their records, they know their stories, and they talk in great detail about contact with the white Europeans coming across. They talk about the Welsh guys. They're not called Welsh, but they wouldn't be called Welsh in those days. They talk about the wars that took place. One of the fascinating things in the book is that there was so much fighting in the Kentucky area that none of the tribes wanted to live there. Kentucky was almost depopulated, which gives more evidence because the white Europeans were there and it was just a bloodbath. So it says here, this is part of their history as the Europeans, yet somehow it's been made politically correct to dismiss the American native historical claims as well. The patronising approach is taken as to protect their indigenous rights, whereas in reality, their past is being shoved down the memory hole too. Right, so you hear about Welsh-speaking Indians, all this kind of stuff. False trail, things I've just covered. Right, on to this guy. Amerigo. Do you know where I'm going yet with this, how Wales got its name? Not Wales. Oh, God. Wales is a pejorative, isn't it? It's how America got to be called America. Yeah, well, he's got Spotify. I never watched. Oh, yes. So thank you, Paul Challenger. Thank you very much for that. I enjoyed that. And I mean, flower readings was quite a big thing in Wales for a while. And it's really interesting. Okay, it's really interesting. Oh, yeah, sorry, one thing, this is where it all ties in. It does all come together, not just thrown together, these shows, right? This chap, I almost fell off my chair when this name came up. All right, because you go through the whole, I knew there's a reason I was scrolling down this. So there's all this stuff about Oak Island. Now, what's fascinating, this guy, Barry Fell, I was like, my God, this is how synchronicity, right, and timing and everything. Because I've just been proofreading word by word by word, trying to get this book right. Barry Fell's in the book. he's in this book. I'm like, there's Barry Fell. I almost fell off my chair. So he was, and it's all to do with this, because he was attempted to have the symbols on the stone translated in the 1970s. So it must be available, right? I know there's pictures around. He said, listen to this, it resembled, I wish I could zoom in somehow. Hope you can see this anyway. He said the symbols resembled the Coptic alphabet. Where have we heard that before? Look what jumps up on the screen. Whichever direction it is. Which direction is it? I can't tell, there's a lag. The hieroglyphs again. It looks like Coptic. They thought Coptic was the language behind the hieroglyphs, and that was wrong as well. What they think is Coptic is nonsense. It's this ancient Assyrian language which is dispersed all around various places, not just to Britain, not just to Wales. The difference is, in most places, over time, there's been migrations and invasions and wars and outside influences, and the languages have become so distorted, you just see occasional words. Whereas in Wales, stuck on the edge, this little fortress Glamorgan, the language never really changed. It stayed the same the whole time. Von Bunsen worked this out in the 1840s. People write about this since the 1790s. Like 200 odd years of trying to get this message across. The Welsh language is effectively ancient Assyrian. Maybe if we call it ancient Assyrian and stop calling it Welsh or Cymraeg, perhaps that would make it work. The idea of ancient Assyrians walking around or Egyptians walking around speaking a very similar language to Welsh is mind-blowing. I agree, it's mind-blowing. But this is... How else do you explain things like these Sanskrit words and the same as Welsh words? Indians didn't come to Wales any more than Welsh went to India. They share this very ancient root, like we talked about last week. Irish language, also very, very ancient, the Gaelic, coming from the same roots. This is why Welsh and Gaelic, Cymraeg and Gaelic look similar, but they can't actually talk to each other because the break was 2,500 years ago or so. So look at this. You suddenly find this Barry Fell. Wilson and Black, you can read in here, wrote letters to Barry Fell saying, look, we can read this from you, right? We can read it. He did not want to know. He did not want to know. And I got a feeling it's going to be the same thing now. So to avoid going the British route, he's actually said, to Fell's theory, Coptic migrants sailed from North Africa, constructed this pit. However, it's not considered to be credible. They just pulled it out of his because he just made it up. Oh, he's passed away. So not to hear from him then, am I? I suppose he was 77. He's younger than Alan, I think. Yeah, he's younger than Alan. So these two had how many years they were bashing away at each other. Epigraphy, there we go. So we're never going to we're not going to convince Barry, are we? That's not bad taste, I hope, is it? Oh, Arnie, you go to bed if you like, darling. You're exhausted. You've been up since 5 o'clock. You can have a child. Anyway, okay. So, sorry, I didn't need to end on. I just looked at this bit. Oh, let's have a click on Barry Fell's name. Good fun, Wikipedia. I'm sorry. Sorry, Barry. I hope no for his family is feeling offended by this. What? Oh, a donation. Thank you very much. That's very nice. A donation on the members. You can become a member. It's much appreciated. All right, so this is what we got there. So hang on, what was I doing? I was reading this little thing, wasn't it? Oh, yeah. I'm dragging this out, aren't I? I'm doing a real tease here. The forward, that's it. Yeah, Amerigo Vespucci. Sorry, come on, pay attention, Ross. I'm terrible for distracting myself, aren't I? I did have this up. Where's it gone? Oh, never mind, I'll type it again. Amerigo. Oh, let's just type in America. Here we are. I like using Wikipedia, not because I believe it, because it just tells you what the mainstream consensus thing is, right? Luckily, I only just started learning the standard translation by Budge and Campion. Oh my god, yeah, you saved yourself a lifetime of misery. Praises to Wilson Blackett and Ross for getting this out to more people. Yes, thank you. The Hebrew trace their descendants as the Assyrian line of kings, the Chaldeans. Yeah, it all ties in with this. If you're new to the Wilson and Blackett work, everything you just said there with the Chaldeans, the Assyrians, it all comes in, right? Okay, United States. Land of the brave and home of the free, or the other way around. Right, etymology, okay? Posh word for how to get that name. Right, so bizarrely, okay, for a fairly modern country like America, the first recorded use of the name is 1507, when Martin Waldseemüller, hang on a second, he's got a, yeah, that's right, he's known as Hyla Camillus, yeah, that's not, they never use their real names, these cartographers, it's very weird. And I have to say, go to Martin Leakey's channel on this, loads of stuff about maps and things, whether into flat earth or not, don't worry about it. There's a lot of other stuff on this, really interesting, maps and old maps is one of them. And Mercator, that's what I was thinking of, there we are. So Mercator, that's not his real name either, so he used the word America. So where's this word come from, right? Where does it come from? Why do they call it America? Hang on, what are we getting on there? There was a Welsh stone cross here already when John Cobbett landed. Yeah, I'm sure there was. There's one on in the book. Is it? Oh, come on, Ross, you just done all this. It's near Plymouth Rock, just down the way from it. There's a huge rock there with Dighton. Did you say Dighton or Digton? I don't know how to say these words. It's Dighton. It's like Brighton but with a D, so I call it Dighton. Right, anyway, what we do here, the only possibility. Right, the name is shown large letters, now what considers South America, in honour of Amerigo Vespucci. See, this is where it doesn't make any sense. Look at Amerigo Vespucci, right? This guy is supposed to have a whole continent named after him, North and South America. Well, what's the first thing which doesn't seem right about this theory? There are a couple of big, obvious ones, really. One is, well, he's not royal. That's the first major problem he's got. Most discoveries are named in honour of your king. So, the English named it Virginia or whatever after the Virgin Queen, and royals tend to name things after themselves, and quite often they use their first names. But even that's very rare, really. Like if you look, for example, why is New York called New York? Because he was the Duke of York when he took it off the Dutch. This is his first name, Amerigo. Maybe someone can find an alternative example there. I have looked quite hard now. I cannot find a single river, a town even. Like up the road from here, I've got Hopkins Town. It's a surname, not a first name. I can't find any town, river, country, mountain, anything named after someone's first name. Nothing at all. So why was it Amerigo? If it was named after this bloke, it should be called Vespuccia. It shouldn't be called America. And if you go back... hang on. They got no other offerings as to where the name came from. There's no explanation. How can you have the most important country in the world, if you like, has got no provenance for its own name? Weird, isn't it? Look at this. It gets weirder. Because if you read about this bloke, you can read about him yourself, but he's just the third son of a miner family. I'm not even sure if he went to America. If he probably went to South America, to Brazil. Never went to North America. There's a lot of controversy about him. And, well, you can see my thoughts in the introduction here. Hang on. Forward. Okay, so this just seems nonsense to me. Now, the main theory, which I'm going to go back. You've seen behind the curtain, all these things I've got open. Getting back to... it doesn't matter. All right, what I was going to do is go back to the email that Mr. McCann wrote in. The letters going between John D. and Mercator. That's what I was trying to get to. There's a person there, and I bet this is who you're thinking of, because this is how I would have answered up until a week ago, or 2 weeks ago. There was a person there called Merrick, and he was a map maker, and he seemed to be in correspondence with Mercator. And that's the story I was gone through, is the Welsh maps, because he knew what happened to his ancestors. But again, it's not very convincing. Private people do not tend to have things named after them, unless they're great explorers or something. So you got the Cook Islands. They're not the James Islands or the James Cook Islands. They're just the Cook Islands. You got the Tasman Straits. You got all these kind of things. Magellan Straits. Surnames. Okay. But what? Let's go to the next bit there. Right, so there's a little bit about it there. So was Vespucci picked out obscurity because he had a convenient name? Check this out. What was Arthur's name? What was King Arthur's name? He's the son of Myrig, who's also Merrick, is the anglicisation of it, or the other way of saying it. Arthur ap Merrick. So phonetically, ap Merrick is America. It's the same, ap Merrick. And I would say there's two ways you could look at this. One is it's named after Arthur ap Merrick, or more likely, I think, actually, is that Arthur, or Madoc, who went there, in the same way as the English named Virginia after their Virgin Queen, the king, Myrig, was still alive. He would still been alive then. He might have lived to even 100 years old. It would be named, he would have been the king. Ap Merrick. It's named after Ap Merrick. Arthur ap Merrick. America. Is it right? Who knows? It makes an awful lot more sense than being named after some third son of a lesser family using his first name, not his surname. Really weird. So who knows, all right? So there you go. Hope you a little insight there for you. And I think we get a little bit late. 25 to 10 now, so I'll have to tell what we'll do. It's not fair not to show you at all. So rather than me draw these graphics, I'll just show you an example. I thought it'd be fun. You could watch me drawing them on PowerPoint. I've done so many. I'm quite happy to do it live on a show. You can start to recognise and read these symbols. Yeah, I've written Photoshop as a memory to me to go and actually draw it from scratch, but never mind. Oh, hey, what happened there? Hey, where'd everything go? Sorry about this. That was weird. Just suddenly jumped back to the beginning. Oops, sorry. Here we go. Must be a home button. Alright, so this is the kind of thing you see on these tablets. This is quite small, by the way. It's only a few inches across. You also see them on cave walls. Same applies with Phrygian, Etruscan, all these ancient things. So if anybody can find those pictures of what letters we've got at Oak Island, please send them through to me, because I'd love to have a crack at them. Because I've been going through the whole book, drawing them all out. I'm getting the hang of it now. It's a bit like the hieroglyphics. The best thing you can do is you need to immerse yourself in it, really. And then you start to think it. You know, like when you're reading other things. Oh, I see. Is he Portuguese, Ross? Because they do tend to prefer their first names, just think the Brazil team names on their shit. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. There's a little bit of an argument for that one. Yeah. I still think I like their third son as an explorer. Might not have gone there, but I do take your point, though. What? If you know a place where you saw an etymology, that means it, woman, you can post it here. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Right, so that's the Grave Creek stone, okay? Now, the one I want to point out to you here is you can see the symbols we're about to analyse. I was going to draw them out. But one which immediately jumps out to me is this cross. Okay, see the cross there? This is just awesome, because whenever I've been talking about hieroglyphs, Egyptian hieroglyphs, oh, my face is going to block it out, isn't it? Oh, my goodness, hang on, it's just, sorry, a bit ugly, a bit crude, but let's just drag it over there so you can see it better. Alright, that wasn't very elegant, was it? Just edit that bit out, okay? There you go. My head was going to be in the way otherwise. Right, so you can see there, see this cross? I think everyone here knows the Welsh word for what cross by now is croes. Croes, croeso. You get welcome, and it's the same thing. So this is where I started, when I was redrawing these out, and I really started to get this kind of tingling feeling, thinking, actually, yeah, I can read this. It's not even that difficult. I'm looking at it now, and I can just about read this. So, alright, I can have a go at the Oak Island one. Like some easy ones here, you see. Duh. So you got cud then, you see. And you can see how these form words. It's usually 2 or 3 symbols forms a word. And I was going to draw them out so you can watch it magically appear in front, but it's getting a bit late. But there's an idea. So if you look at the first one, is this kind of shape here. Look. See, I haven't drawn that very well, have I? That should join to there. So that's a combined one. This is where it gets difficult. This is where it does get tricky. You've got 2 drawn together as one. There's some easier examples. There's the quid I was telling you about, quid. And if it hasn't got the dash in the middle, if it's just these 2, you get cud, which is together. And you see that quite a lot. It's quite a popular one. Croeso again is welcome. You can just, I mean, you can just see it. This is the arrow. You know, the arrow end is a t, and this is a double T, and that's a bit weird to see. Sometimes the letters get combined, which makes it a bit tricky. I just want to get the basic principles across. Crosses again. Horizontal cross. Exactly the same as they do it with the hieroglyphs. That's what amazed me. Horizontal cross, croeso. Croeso. The diagonal cross is like the crossing over. So you can tell the difference between the 2 different crosses. And I highly recommend people to get into this. And I'm going to do some videos again. I mean, it's getting a bit tiring now. Almost 10 o'clock. But I'll do some little videos. What my plan was to do. I never planned really to do the reproduce King Arthur conspiracy book, because I wanted to do something like Cymroglyphics only for Culbran to show how it's done, and introduction and the alphabet and learn it. But there's so much in here already, and there was so much demand for the book. It's like, well, just take the whole thing. So maybe one day I will do just a. Right, so I was going to do the translation of the Dead Sea Scrolls. It's in the book as well. You can have a look yourself, but it's too late tonight. Oh yeah, Baron's birthday request. I hate doing this because it's a real... but I just want people to know, I don't hate asking for cards and messages. Please send me some emails. His life, just to let you know, is a bit of a sob story, because it is. He's looking at Alan, who's almost 90. He'll be 90 June, okay? He's great, right? He's emotional to me because I lost my father. Oh God, it's 2 years ago now. I can't believe it's 2 years ago. And Alan fills that void a lot for me. We have conversations, very close. Where he likes, I think, the fact I got the old Welsh connections, the boxing connections. Both played rugby, both even played the same position. We get on really well. We can just talk for hours and hours and hours because I'm just a fanboy who's hanging off his every word. It's brilliant. But he is hard work, right? He doesn't cook his own food. He won't remember his medications. His short-term memory can be a problem. He can remember all this stuff, no problem. But sometimes, people get old, right? He's 90. And Baron looks after him. Now, the other thing Baron's got is his mum. I was talking to Baron's mum a couple of days ago. She's wonderful. But she's like 80 odd or something as well. I'm not quite sure exactly how old she is. She sounds about 25, but obviously she's considered to be older, in her 80s. And Baron's uncle is 96, and all 3 live in different parts of Newcastle, and he bounces around between the 3. Absolute nightmare. He's exhausted. He loves boxing. It's his birthday coming up. He just had the big 61, so the idea is he really, really, really wants to go to the boxing to watch Tyson Fury against Dillian White if they both turn up, which would be quite nice. Like, they're going to turn up, I'm sure they are. £40 million or dollars on the stake. And we're going to get ringside seats, and they're working out pretty expensive, all right? Now, the book sale's done pretty well, so that's going to help. If you could chip in and go to the Cymroglyphics, there's a donations box. Just donations, put Baron's birthday, and all that will go in the kitty to get him something nice for his birthday. And the plan is he's going to have a few days in London, enjoying himself, having a break, recharge his batteries. I'm insisting he gets away. He needs to relax, recoup, have a break, have some life. And then I'll happily look after Alan for a few days, and I'll probably, if I can raise enough money there, get the household cleaned up again, do the garden again, all that kind of stuff, and discover some new notes and new books that need doing. All right, so that's my little request there. All right, okay, so here's the pile of some of the books. Yeah, anyway, I'm not going to do all this now. I'll tell you what, I'll just give you an idea of how much work Angie's put into this. I'll just look at all these slides here. This was going to be the show, but then all that stuff's happened, the synchronicity. That's why I'll go full page. Just to give you an idea that is Athens actually an ancient city at all? And this, our friend Elgin, who nicked all the bits. We'll do this next week, all right? Is the Parthenon ancient? Is any of it ancient? Is it medieval? Was there an ancient Greece? Was it an ancient Rome? And then we got to some of this. This has become Angie's pet subject now. Because Angie's sister, I mentioned this before, and there's no chance of watching this show, married a professor. I mean, a full-on Mr. Mainstream, right? Italian history professor in Florence University, whatever it's called, who's literally written the books on these things. He's literally written the books on Renaissance and Columbus, not so much Columbus, but all that kind of thing. So to say me and him have a different outlook, it's one of those massive understatements. So try to get him more involved, all right? But you mentioned things like Flamenco. He doesn't know Wilson and Blackett so well. You mentioned those. They run a mile, these people. He's a nice guy. He's a lovely bloke. And I'd like to spend more time with him. But there's a huge story behind all these, okay? And I could probably quote his work, actually. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Have a Family Feud, eh? Imagine that. You have a wedding or something. I got the two historians having a punch-up. But anyway, that will be next show. And the next show is not going to be a show 100. Because I want show 100 to be special. And I've got quite a few things lined up for it. All right, but most noticeably, I'm sure you could work it out. Thank you, lots of nice comments. Thank you very much. Is because I'm going to go up to Newcastle. I want to get Alan. I don't blow the surprise, but I'm going to blow the surprise a little bit. And I get Alan to talk on the show 2 weeks' time. Okay, I don't think it'll be live. I'll probably be on my way back by then, but we can't miss Alan by one show, can we? I'll try and get Barham as well, but he's so shy in front of the camera. We'll have a go. So we'll have Alan Wilson here. There's a couple of other surprises just to get you going. Oh, geez, funky graphics. So then we'll have the 100 special in 2 weeks' time, all right? Look at this, some celebrities. If you don't know who these people are, then there's no point me telling you, really. But this gentleman here I had a great chat with, and thank you to Graham. You're going to find out more about Graham soon. He's in our group. He's got some remarkable gifts and knowledge to share that we've been on the back burner, hinting a little bit. You'll see more and more of this. And he's got good contacts in the boxing game, which is hopefully we can get these ringside tickets. It's still going to cost a load of money, mind, but there we are. A couple of thousand. I don't know. We'll work it out somehow. That's a Christmas present, isn't it? That's a birthday present. It was his 60th last year. We missed it, so it's like a big one, right? Anyway, that's Johnny Nelson. He's a world lightweight heavyweight champion for 6 years. I like this funky coming up thing. And there's a chat with Peter Fury, who's Tyson Fury's uncle. And the weird, amazing thing is, right, and you might be watching now, and I'm talking about them, they watch the show. Well, particularly Johnny does. And we're hopefully going to do some walks on that next year with Pete's going to cut some hills and Johnny and do some hidden history. So how cool is that? Well, if you're a boxing fan like me, it is extremely cool. But there we go. So thank you very much anyway. I know there's a couple of people chipping in on the memberships and that. And please, I don't want anyone to give huge amounts of money. Don't £10 or £20. I find it difficult. What I really like is if we can all just chip in a few quid each and get something nice. Right, that's the plan. Okay. There's some people out there very, very generous, but there's enough of us. We can do this easily. Yeah, a couple of quid each. We sail it. Right. So I want to get him something nice. All right, and it's going to come from the book sales or from as much as we can raise. And he said he'd pay for his own hotel and all that. But I'd like to be able to say, no, there you go, mate. You decades of service to British history and looking after Alan. It's the least you deserve. That's what I want to do. Let's hope. Right, anyway, thanks to the patrons and members. You become a member, click on that little members button and just chip in £2 a month. Something that'd be awesome. Make a big difference. Awesome. It's very American, wasn't it? I got these fade things now. I was going to be... Oh, man. I tell you, get some sleep, start doing crazy things with the graphics. So new videos are due with Lawrence the Druid. Yes, I was up seeing Lawrence. And I've got to give some credit here because... I should have said it at the time. I don't like to take credit from what anyone else is doing. Lawrence the Druid's the one who said to me, well, Arthur, America's named after Arthur. I'm like, what? Arthur Americ? And I was like, oh, okay. So it's Lawrence the Druid, not me, who's being clever, okay? To him, and I'll just say a little bit about that, because it's the Druidic thing is very much believing in reincarnations, and that certain archetypes always appear. So in Lawrence's world, for example, Arviragus, who fought the Romans, is also an Arthur. And you got Arthur in the 6th century, who discovered America, or not discovered, that's not right, who took a mission there or something. And there's different Arthurs through history, which is why we have a current Arthur. Oh yeah, I keep meaning to show this. I still haven't spent this, have I? I should put this on the screen. This is my gift from when I visited Lawrence. Oh no, I messed it up. I need long arms to get to that camera now. It's miles away. But hopefully you can see that. Can you see that there? Anyone see what's wrong with that money? Hang on. There you go. There's King Arthur. Look, the current King Arthur. The current manifestation. Current King Arthur likes cider, apparently, which is a relief to me. I'm not a big drinker or anything, but... Lawrence is vegan, non-drinking, non-smoking, non-anything. And I was like, oh my goodness, if you want to be a druid, that's a pretty high, steep tariff. So yeah, the £23 notes are Druidic. It was to make a point about currency and keeping cash and all that. So the druids can be a little bit political sometimes. And, as you know, I'm a member of the Druidic Order. Graham is as well. A couple of other people there, so that's all good stuff. So Lawrence, there's more videos already filmed with Lawrence. I went up there a couple of weeks ago, didn't really have the time to go with the book to do, but it was a long commitment. When a druid's summon, you don't let them down, all right? And we did a bit of a search for where Excalibur is. This few twists and turns. Legal Luke's coming back on for more about... if you remember, we've done about 6 episodes, and we got to the stage where we're now seeing how the Bible talks about the migration to Britain, and how we can see it in our language and our laws and everything else. There's been a bit of a gap because he had some legal exams to do and things like that, so he's been busy. Okay, you just get spam done? Oh, you've...
Oh, yeah, just an auto-spam bot.
I'm going to shout. You've got the headphones on.
You said an auto-spam bot, it's fine, it's gone now.
Oh, you've done it. Good stuff, man. And we've got Babylon Steve's, I'm going to call him, Steve Willits. He's been showing me more. I mean, there's so much to do. If you want to get involved, if you want an area... Pick one. You have in some groups say, well, I've found this, or this is mine, or this is whatever. It's the opposite, right? If you want, have it. Have it. So I've worked out how many years I'm going to live for, and how many books need to be written, and how many books need to be read, and how many films need to be made, and everything else. It's not going to happen. You can have the project. If you think you want to do the book on the Colburn, I'll help you. Or the book on Phrygian or Etruscan. Any of these topics, dive in there, okay? Like Steve's doing a brilliant job on the Babylonian stuff. It's brilliant. The story of Gilgamesh, all that, awesome. I've used that word again. Can I say a funny thing about you, Arnie?
Go on then.
I'm going to say a funny thing about Arnie. about a couple of weeks ago. They're very short in his team. All the big lads are missing, right? So they need Arnie to become the big runner, because Arnie's a tough guy, okay? But quite often he's a couple of big lads who do the running. In the rugby I'm talking about now. So the coach, Slugger, if you're watching this, Slugger, it's huge prop. Come up to Arnie, try and cheer him up, and he says, "Right, Arnie, come on, Arnie, get into there, get in there." He said, "Come on, Arnie." He said, "What's the word he used? What really?" What's the word? Oh, you can't remember. There we go. We remember in a minute. He said, "Come on, Arnie, what really annoys you? What really aggravates you? What gets you going?" And I turned around and said, "Well, the Americanization of the English language." Which had the opposite effect of what was required, because this big hairy prop was laughing his head off and everyone was laughing. All the things he thought would annoy someone, Americanization of the English language is not really expected. And Marshall would fully agree with that. Marshall, the migrations, we need to have a chat. We've got loads of stuff to cover. And her book's not far away. Bob Morgan's done an amazing amount of research. It's so much, and I apologise to all those people who contacted me. Also, Sean with his alphabet. I have just been every living minute. And the next week's going to be the same. And then a trip to Newcastle. So it's going to be May before I get cracking on a lot of this stuff. Okay. Any more Luke videos on the way? Yeah, good timing, Mr. Pendride. There you go. Legal Luke. That's the one there. Second on the list. We were going to meet this week.
Can't see that.
Come on, Ant. Oh, no.
No, we can see that bit with the guy on there.
You saw that?
Yeah, we saw that.
You saw that?
Yeah.
You didn't see all my funky graphics? We spent millions on this, son. That's like, weeks putting this dramatic graphics together. Look, so Lawrence the Druid. Okay, we'll do it again. I'm definitely going to bed. Legal Luke. So I was doing that funny voice and no one could see anything, just so I was going mad, which I undoubtedly am. Babylon Steve Willits and the Babylon thing. Marshall Migrations. You see, I come up with all these cool, funky names, alliterations. I could not think of anything for Bob. Babbling Bob's not very nice, is it? Mad Morgan. I don't know. Well, what Bob's going to watch this. Bob's much bigger than me. Bob used to play rugby for Pontypool, man. He's like a proper hard man. And much fitter and tougher than me. I don't care what age he is. So I need to come up with something for Bob. Legal Luke, Babylon Steve, Marshall Migrations. Bob Morgan's the king of research. The stuff he finds and digs into. He's got some great stories to tell, which I just need to record. And please, while you're there, in the description, have a little look. I got another channel, which clearly is nothing's happened for the last 3 weeks because of getting the books out. Some little Welsh stories, only 6-7 minutes each. This is very mainstream, okay? All history is a bit controversial. Like Guinness is Welsh. Medieval news, how the bards worked. The Ukraine one, very topical. How a Welshman set up Donetsk, which is the Donbass region in Ukraine where all the fighting is and everything. So yeah, the Welsh got that started. It used to be called Hugosovska, is the old name for Donetsk, after a guy called Hughes. Again, after his surname Hughes, yeah? I think his name was John. They didn't call it Johnia or something. It's Hugheska. Same as America. Someone's first name? The Portuguese thing. You've got to be thinking there. Who was that comment? I'll have to look more into that. Why do they use first names on Portuguese shirts and stuff? Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. Thank you for that. And then, Welshman invented tennis, all sorts of stuff, all right? I just spent a picture of the 90-foot stone. Doug just woke up. Hello, Doug. Hope you enjoyed the show. We're going to go back and watch it from the start. I'd love to talk with you. And be a guest or anything. Just there's a chance for you to read this stuff and, do an exchange or whatever. That'd be brilliant. Okay, so Heddwch Pawb, peace to everybody. North Star, which is good night. And all this adrenaline, I'll be buzzing, isn't it? So it's great. So thank you very much, everybody, for bearing with me. And all these people come back again and again and again. As you've seen, there's so much going on. There's one thing with this channel. It's not short of content. We can do 3 shows a week. And I just sent you a picture of the 90-foot stone. Oh, my goodness. Hang on a second. What did you email, was it? Hang on. I shouldn't do this in the middle of a show, should I? I'm so exciting. Someone sent me an Arctic map. Mandy sent it to me. It's Mandy. Hang on, it wasn't Mandy on there, was it? Well, Laurie said she sent it. The inscribed stone. Hang on, Mandy sent the same thing. I don't know what's going on with my emails. Hang on. Is this it? Oh, hang on a second. All right, hang on a second. Hang on. Thank you, Mandy. Mandy's great. Mandy McCork, find anything. I should have mentioned you as well, Mandy. I'd get Mandy in front of the camera one of these days, but she'd rather just send the stuff through. All right, so let's look at this. So that doesn't look original to me. That's just been typed on or something, isn't it? A rendering. Okay, just quick addition. Oh, look at this. See, the symbols look kind of right, but the appearance looks all wrong, doesn't it? You look at old carved stones, they just don't look like that. So what's this? A rendering of the symbols claimed to be on the stone is shown below. Once again, others exist largely from the memory of an earlier viewer. It's not a tracing or rubbing, even though it was said to have been viewed by hundreds of people while in the home of the Smith family. So it's gone over my head a bit. The stone was last seen in the window of a Halifax merchant, where it's been displayed in an effort to stimulate interest in the sale of shares. And also, yeah, okay, yeah. See, that's the problem with these things, isn't it? Unless you got the original, you can't. Someone's done it from memory. I mean, cool. All right, well, we'll keep trying on that. I'll have a look at that, but most of the symbols are the same, and the dots are important, because sometimes you find these represent a number of letters and stuff. I know. Anyway, it's like it says there, it's just someone's doing it from memory. Alright, so I hope, well, I don't know what the memory was. If anyone's got, I don't think there are any originals available, are there? So if anyone does know anything, that'd be wonderful, because then we can have a go at reading it. Right, Rhea, I'm going to have to go. You're going to play us out, aren't you? Poor thing, you look half asleep.
Alright.
So I leave you to it, you okay? Can you manage that? Can you manage one more song?
Yeah, what song?
He's been up since 5 o'clock, poor thing.
What song?
Oh, he did have a little sleep in the day, didn't he? He played a rugby match as well. Played an English team today, big international.
Oh, they were rubbish.
They were, yeah.
Sorry, but they were...
Well, I hope none of them are now watching. No, but I think they were new to... Let's just say they were new to the game. Right, I think you need to go... Annie, that side so we can see you. Let me go there.
What should I play?
What can you play, folks? Oh, we're supposed to look at Water Boys, weren't we? We've got to learn Water Boys for next week, and there was a couple of other research. Yeah, who are they? Who are they? Water Boys, they were huge for a while. Water Boys. I'll give you the tunes for next week for Zoe. Right, okay, so there's so many good comments on there tonight. I'm going to leave the comments running. Oh, but thank you, David Church as well. Little messages are coming up. Thank you very much. Another purchase. Right, sorry, I couldn't find your email, Laurie. I don't know where it went. Perhaps it's on Facebook or something, which I can't really go to right now. You got me so curious, though. I'm really into translating these stones and everything now. Right, okay, well, thank you very much, everybody. Yes, just a little bit of that, Ali. Be nice, yes. A little bit of Mozart. Is that Mozart?
Okay, yeah.
Is it Mozart, yes? Right, okay, so thank you very much, everyone. Lots of comments tonight. It's been great. I've really enjoyed it. I hope you have as well. I'm just reading some more of the comments. I think Druidism sounds cool. Yes. An excuse to wear a hood and keep away from idiots. See, that's what I was gonna... That's my Druidic look, you see. What do you reckon? Because there's no way I'm growing a beard. And my long hair doesn't suit me either. It's as long as my hair ever gets. I had to explain to Lawrence the beard and the long hair's not happening. As I can't grow a beard. And he said, what you have to do is wait till it's a full moon, do some ceremony, wake up in the morning with long hair and long beard. He was joking, I assume. We try and say hello to the new full moon every year, don't we? We've always done that. It's one of those things that it's just one of those things I've always done. My grandmother always did it. No idea why, right? My grandmother, every full moon, she'd go out there with her apron and she would curtsy to the full moon, and she'd do that 3 times and have to say something. But unfortunately, so we do a similar thing now when we remember. So there's lots of these weird little traditions, aren't they? All place name etymology in Old English is from first names. Do you want to give some examples then? Junction films. I can't think of any, you see. There's royal first names. I'm not, it's Jamestown for King James, but I don't think there's any non-royals use their first name. But I'm there to learn. We're all on a journey. I'm not gonna fight you over it or anything. So if you explain why it would be Amerigo rather than Vespucci, I'd like to know. Right, the Russian-speaking pro-Russian Donbass. Yeah. What? The Donbass were Welsh. Yeah, that Donbass region was set up there. We can look at the video. It's only about 7 minutes long. Their basic point was they wanted to set up a steelworks, and at the time, the Welsh had all the expertise, because Merthyr was the biggest steelworks in the world. I think we're talking 1840s, a bit later, 1860s, 70s, that whole era. So John Hughes went over. He was a bit of a genius. He set up the whole factory, the whole steelworking, and it took quite a lot of people with him who had all the expertise to get up and running. And then the Russian Empire moved the people in to provide the general staff. Here's a statue to John Hughes there and everything, yeah. So there you go. That is the same Donbass. Yeah, Welsh. Kind of Welsh, set up by a Welshman. Right, thank you, Arnie, that's lovely. Oh, sorry, I wasn't trying to stop. I just thought, thank you. I was just like... I know you're playing out till I stopped talking, but I was like, waiting for each other, going all night. Right. Sound like racehorse names. The church taught people to fear something. Oh, scroll up. Wow, so many comments. Right, okay, I'll say goodnight to everyone. I'll leave the comments running a little bit. And thank you, Mel. And so if you want to chip in... Oh, yeah. Last chance to order the book. You need to go to... I'll show you one more time. This is the last chance. Well, you can buy the book, but it's last chance for a discount or anything, okay? So it's Cymro Glyphics. Cymro as in Welsh people. Glyphics like life, writing. Just click on the book. Oh, hang on, let's go to books. That's Cymro Glyphics in America. Now available in America. Da-da-da-da! From CIFA, thank you very much. There's a link straight through to their website. On the ones we sell. Thank you very much, Arnie. Sorry, mate, that was lovely. There. And you get, this is for £45 is for both books, okay? A lot of people have asked. No, they're £45 is for two. Works out £22 each or something. And then they will be £30 when they go out on general release. So, till tomorrow morning, last chance. So, thank you very much, everyone. Really appreciate it. Arnie, do you want to go and... I can't reach the camera anymore. It's too far away.
I'll time it right.
Right, you going to time it? Ready? Oh, wait, just look at Arnie's face as well, okay?
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. So, good night, everyone. North Star, till next time. Hedwch. Oh, she's on. Just... That's what the right hand of a prop feels like. I think it just broke... I don't think you broke the camera. I think you broke the whole windowsill. Alright, good night all. Great stream music. Thank you. I'll take the microphone off now. Is the camera trashed? I think it's alright.
Oh, no, it's just the tapes come off.
Just falling down a bit. It'll be fine. Good night.